5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday, Bank Holiday Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. Right, we're here anyway. And sure, look at the first official day of summertime. Yes, when it's 15 degrees in Tipperary. Although it was nice earlier, you know, between the raining. But you're all very welcome back to this From Earth to the Moon, part 6 tonight. We're going to have a look at the Skylab and also various different space stations and, of course, the Space Shuttle and also the Space Shuttle Carrier, which I believe has a unique trait if one tries to use the reverser. So, it'd be grand, right? Totally fine. We're on the ground here in Cologne, Echo Delta Delta Kilo, and just to make this flight a bit more interesting, we're going to Stickenau landing in. We're going to go to Brussels, Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo, before we head down over to Paris itself. As this flight, don't mind the Brussels part, but this flight, this aircraft, the Shuttle Carrier, flew from Cologne over to Paris for the Paris Air Show back in the 1980s. It was all about raising awareness and a bit of dosh, right? And basically public engagement for what NASA were currently working on. We'll start off at Skylab because the whole thing gets absolutely terribly interesting, whereby in the early 1970s, at this stage, they've landed on the moon, they've done the job, what comes next? And there's a shift of focus. Rather than going for these kind of, you know, very high risk landings, well, they're going to turn it around into prolonged orbital experiences with regards to having the Skylab, which is basically it was a space station lab, right? And they had 3 different crews going up to it. And then we were able to see then, well, how did this change in terms of the spacecraft? They use the same sort of rocketry to launch Skylab, but how do you then resupply? How do you get additional crews up there? And how the Canadians, a great bunch of lads, built a magnificent arm. That we'll have a look at later on. Great bunch of lads, the Canadians, I've always said it. But anyway, hope you're keeping well as we start a new month. Yes, I gotta say, lads, Jesus, May was absolutely incredible, and I have to thank you all so very... Jesus! And I have to thank you all... Pitched. I have to thank you all so very much indeed for your incredible support and records being smashed left, right and centre. So I want to thank you all so very, very much indeed for all your support, and you're a great bunch of lads. Brilliant. But anyway, how are you all keeping? How was your... Well, we streamed yesterday, but apart from that, we flew the DC-6 yesterday. Used stage 3 of a Saturn. It did. It absolutely did. The Irish invented Canadians. Right? But I was busy now today. did all my office work this morning, did my other stuff this morning, and then I was out in the garden for a bit with an angle grinder, and I grinded many angles. Where my decking used to be, I had to, right. Now, I wore me protective glasses, but I'm pretty sure I've singed the bejesus out of my head. But right, it can happen to anyone, right? And Charlie, the robot lawnmower, he's still doing his thing, right? He's behaving. And apart from that, I've been doing extensive testing. So hopefully tonight we shall bear the fruits of said testing. I've done a couple of mad things. I'll tell you what I did. Just to explain what I did. I'll play a bit of music so I don't sound, completely awkward. Right? So I was thinking more on this issue that we were having and trying to pinpoint as to why stutters are happening during large multiplayer flights, especially when aircraft are loading in. And, well, chatting to you guys about it, we seem to be pointing towards these kind of sound issues, audio in particular. And I remember back in the day, for aircraft that kind of had weird sound variables in the AI folder, a sound AI folder, I was thinking, well, these used to act up before, so tell you what, why don't I just go back, take out the sound AI folders and put the aircraft back in? So I did. And then I said I'd go one stage further. What if I were to remove all the sound AI folders from all aircraft? So I did. I went and downloaded every single aircraft that's usually streamed, right? So instead of having like 1,800 friggin' assets loading, I now have 4,800 assets loading. But I was able to remove the sound AI folder from each and every one of those. And then talking to geniuses, not that I'm a genius, well, I kind of am, but talking to geniuses about this, those who are in the know of, audio, pretty much the sound AI folder is, the sim will say, hey, what sound does this thing want, right? And you read through the SDK, and the sim, the SDK says, hey, we'll only render every 8th frame. 8 frames, right? Every 8th frame, that's what they render from a multiplayer perspective. And the sound works similar to that of an LOD. However, developers are told, if you're going to have this setting on, you got to make sure that your sounds will activate, and you need to have a certain command in there if you're doing something different. The theory, Sim Update 4 and probably 5 have overridden a rule that was in the SDK, hence we're only seeing these in the large group flights. Now, if I get stutters tonight, it means my theory is as useful now as a fart in a spacesuit and twice as welcome. Jesus, there's a hawk. But we're going to see, right? My objective, I need better model matching with better performance and no weird sound issues. So that's what I've experimented with today. So now we test it in a live flight, live streaming. That's a safe environment. So we'll see how we get on, right? If it doesn't work, I'm going to blame someone. You know me, right? It's all Muse's fault anyway, right? That's our story, right? We'll see how we get on. I mean, a Spartan spacesuit could make you fly. I don't think it would, though, if it can't get out. You know what I mean? Surface tension. Eamon 1973 is in the chat. Happy Monday to you, buddy. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, you're very welcome aboard. CP65 is here. Vacuum is in the house. Viper Strike, very good to see you, buddy. Janie, Alok is here. Good to see you. Captain Kenobi, Bonsoir, is here. Hope you're well. Mugan is here. Good evening. Marijan, the absolute legend apparent. He rambles in saying, good job, Twitch. Hey, you know that stream you're watching right now? Well, it's live. All right, brilliant. Technology, Marijan, technology. I hope you're well, buddy. Great to see you. The Boise is in the house. Welcome in. Norse Viking, happy Monday. Derek is here. Hope you're well. Chalks, a very good evening to you. The Dameranian, happy Monday. Flipper Alloy is here. APU Inspector, you're very welcome aboard. Andy 11, good evening. Febro, good to see you. Bellbro is in the house. Hey, space lovers, happy Monday. Space lovers, you say? Yeah, we'll go with one of those. Hope you're well. 98 Vulcan is here. Subscribing tier 1 for 26 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. He says, good evening, Murph and Fireflies. Happy Monday to you and Tuesday to me. Indeed. Idle Cutoff is here. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Currently 15 degrees. We got up to about 20 earlier. It's 23 degrees in the man cave. Lads, it's proper, right. It's warm. Don't think we've... wonder... The fan is on full blast, but like... Arrow, we'll see, right? We'll see. It doesn't seem to be doing what it usually does. But anyway, Shuffle Shoes, Shuffle Sin, AJH John, hope you're well. Super Typhon is in the house. Sup? Hope you're well, buddy. Crafty Tigers is here, just enjoying a whiskey on the rocks after a hard day's work and ready for a great stream and time with everyone. Alrighty then. Good to see you, man. Now, Spitfire, RAF 100. He says, finally, there's some rain. Ah, jeez. That's it now. Game over. Ball burst. Summer will be back next year, even though today is the first day of summer. It's not important. Houston, we have Shuttle. The Impossible Face, good to see you. Creo, happy Monday to all in County Mayo. DK Funfly is here, welcome aboard. Malky Mac, good evening. Muse a Fan burst in the door with his elbows, the two of them, saying happy Monday. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're well. Airlock Doc is in the house. Sun Jammer's here. Commander Balosh, happy Monday. Uniform Goose, good day, Goose. How's she cutting, man? Lucky Bo is here. Got my Flight of the Bremen t-shirt today. It's nice. Nice. Good man yourself. You wear that with pride. You know, wear it out to the local disco. You'd be baiting the mafia, right? They'd be sticking to you now. North Coast Mike, a very good evening to you. Hope you're well. Super Ty, thank you for 3 in a row. P.S. Mirandai, hello there. Good to see you, buddy. Muttley is here, good evening. Home Wrecker, tonight I have been eating beans and sausages. I'm going to fly just in front of Muse. Brilliant. Stay downwind. Stu Snape is here. He says, evening, Murph. The debugging continues. Maybe getting somewhere now. Cheers to Naughty and others. And also Stu watching for 165 streams in a row. That is absolute dedication to the cause. Thank you very much indeed, Stu. You mad devil, you. Flyer10, guten Abend. Hope you're well. Olsen is here. Welcome in. Wolf, subscribing for 14 months is Wolfhard. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Tier 1, man. Cheers. Hermit Something, a very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, man. Sumner is here. Naples calling. My first Flights in Teas order is on its way to Naples. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. The people of Naples won't know how to react to it. Right? They'll be frozen in motion. And then you don't need to say anything. You know, you just show them the... right. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, let me see. Stopwatch on. Wait, what? Eddie Games is here for 10 months. Tier 1. Thank you very much indeed, Eddie. Filthy. Tier 1 for 50 months. Jesus, lads. Thank you very, very much indeed. All the resubs is great to see. Thank you so very, very much indeed. It's a great bunch of lads. Great bunch. Eddie Games, hope you're well. Sunjammer used stage 3 of a Saturn V. Yeah, we'll learn all about it now. As long as you didn't grind your ankles. I didn't. I was quite safe. Belbro is here. Ooh, he says, Brussels. I'll put the kettle on. Stop by when you pass Echo Bravo Foxtrot November. I'll be in the main hangar to welcome you with a nice Belgian beer. Belbro, that sounds amazing. I remember I was in Maastricht some years ago. Maastricht in the Netherlands. On the Vriethof Square. And there was a beer menu. De Governor was the bar feeding us the beer, and on said menu, I asked the bar wench keep person. I said, now listen, I want to explore the beer. Yes, it's great beer. No, now listen, right? I don't want any of that kind of upmarkety. Don't need any of that. Red stars and all this. No, forget it. Give me the local stuff. Give me the crafty stuff. So they started me off on this journey of tasting different beers. One of them was like this kind of a real soury kind of a thing. The next one was a real sweet kind of a bijani. And then the third one nearly took me jocks off. It was like 14%. I literally started to drink the jocks straight down. What? Absolute weaponry. Belgian beer. Yeah, the Belgians, they like the beer. They like their beer. The percentage of unbelievable. Now, I drank it, and then, I was 3 sheets of the wind. It was very nice. But, don't see a good night wasted. Don't start with that one beer, because that's literally all you'll be able to handle. You'll be on the floor. Savage. But anyway, Belbro, Belgian beer for the win, right? Nighthawk, a very good evening. I'm in the Space Shuttle Carrier, ready for chaos. Yes, it's grand. We'll be able to fly the... Who parked the Hawk right in front of me? Who was that? Who in the devil is that? Nap. Do you need attention, that shagging bad? Just look, everybody parked. Look, right in me face. Very accurate parking, I'll give him that. Jesus. Right, FlyingFries, good evening. Hope you're well. Stick Figure is here. Welcome aboard. Memphiston, happy Monday. Where's this now? Can't buy from the marketplace. Any knowledge as to why, says Norse Viking. When you say you can't buy from the marketplace, as in you want to press on the green button to say buy or purchase and it's grayed out, kind of. You kind of just have to leave it sit there for a while. That's what I found. Or you can like save it to your wish list and then go back and then go in again to your wish list. You know what I mean? I think that works. But anyway, let me know. In other words, everything's broken. Well, I don't know. We'll see. The Tennessee Texan, welcome aboard. Imaginitis, welcome aboard. Crackers in the house. Tenure this year. One Fly Air, a very happy Monday. Fibro says, use your angle grinder on the fan. Right? 12 degrees and showery, says 98 Vulcan. In Australia. Jesus. We could do with that bit of rain. It means things are a little bit less flammable. Yeah. Did I see fires up in Bray or something? I thought I saw fires around Bray. But yeah, where's this now? Did I write space lovers? I mean creative space lovers. Jesus, Belbro. Right. Proby Pete, a very good day from Arizona. 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Jesus. That's lovely and warm. It's been light rain all day here, says Malky. Bajani. One Foxy Bingo Gav is here. Good to see you. YOLO's in the house. Tarnish Mossman, welcome. The passengers are getting on your plane. Yeah, I turned on GSX to see what would happen for the crack. It didn't work out well. Right. Mrs. TPHI has rambled in ups to down. She has subscribed, get this, for 15 months. Mrs. TPHI, also known as... Should we say it? Mrs. Inappropriate? What was it? Little Miss Inappropriate. I reckon Mrs. Inappropriate. It works. But you're very welcome in. And thank you very much indeed for 15 months. Max Stallion is here. Good evening. Toto2495. A very good day to you, sir. And hello to the missus. I hope you're keeping well. Captain Gaiman is here. I sent you a picture of my new toy. You're welcome to show it on the stream. A new toy, you say? There's always one, yeah. They broke the marketplace. Oh, Jesus. Error. I've tried the wish list thingy. Oh, that didn't work either. Right. We'll figure it out. Kubi Montana is here. Hello, Kubi. Hope you're well. JP Gaming, welcome aboard. Northland Air, very welcome in, buddy. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. You're looking well. Mike Coffey is here. Just watched The Dish. That's a great movie. The Dish is a great movie. Rob Dag is here. Good to see you, Rob. Aviation Oscar, you're very welcome in. Legion Johnny, welcome aboard. Michael Aviation is here. And happy Monday. Brian is here. Good to see you. Lee Carr, welcome aboard. Aaron is here. Black Sheep Jean, at 4 a.m. my phone screams at me. Wake up, Murph is streaming. I shouted, shag off. My wife said, what's wrong? I said, nothing, babe. Go back asleep. 4 a.m, Jean. What time do I go streaming at? It's good to see you, buddy. Angels15, welcome aboard. Leonardo Da Vinci, a very happy afternoon to you. Mud Dog is here, so it's Space Beer. Space Beer, that's a good combo, yes. Kieran Nile is here, good to see you. And Cloud Strider, you're very welcome aboard, lads. And a very happy Monday. Great to see us all. Is Mrs. TPHI going to fly the shuttle carrier upside down? She'll probably try and fly the shuttle. Right. Come on now, we'll press some buttons and see what happens. Ding! So here is the aircraft of choice, a beautiful BAE Hawk. Yes, but we're not flying in the Hawk. That's just someone with very strategic parking. Yes, our machine is just behind the Hawk. Denied! That is our chariot for today. So this is the shuttle carrier. It's based on the Boeing 747-1-2, right? And it's created by LordFrites, who we all know, of course, looks after FlyingFries. Some of the most incredibly amazing aircraft you can get in the sim, and absolutely wild, mad and crazy. We like it. So this is our machine, and let me see here now. Captain Game. Where's this picture? It hasn't loaded yet. Oh, the big Janie. Hang on a second, a new toy. That thing is a friggin' death trap. You got fierce handy, but it's fierce nice looking, isn't it? Jeez, look at that. That's pretty. It still have enables 10th day in a row. Jesus. Lads, what do we think of this machine here? Isn't that very nice? That is very nice. It's a great thing. 110 horsepower. You see, if I got something like that, if I got a contraption like that, look at the beautiful engine. I'd fall off like, you'd want to be a complete nutter dope to fall off a car. Falling off a bike, however, you know. And I was going to say, did the mirrors go like that? But I imagine the mirrors fold upwards. Or do they? Oohs and ah, isn't it gorgeous? My Gabrielle is my top plane at the moment on Mutt Dog. I love the Gabrielle. Gabriel, it is an incredible airplane. I love it. You can swap them. Wow. Well, Captain Gaming, many happy miles with that one. That's absolutely gorgeous. I love the colour of it, man. And it is brown, kind of bronze on the saddle. Dude, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So congratulations on your new machine there, dude. Absolutely fantastic. Right, now, what are we doing? We're doing one of these. Buttons, Murph, you can do it. So we're going to open up Dish. We're going to open up Dish. And we're going to have a look at our routing. Yes, we're going to see what we're doing. Right. So. Now, what was I doing here? Unload that flight, Murph. There's a good gentleman. We're going to... Come on now, Navigraph. Don't be having a moment. There we go. And this is what our flight plan looks like. So we're going to depart out of Cologne, Echo Delta Delta Golf, over to Brussels. We'll say hello to Belbro on the way. And then it's down into Lima Foxtrot, Papa Bravo, or Le Bourget, or Le Bourget. Right, that's where we're heading, because that is, now I could be butchering the name, don't be surprised if I am, that's where they host the infamous Paris Air Show, and that's where, well, aviation gathers in Europe, and they have done for countless years, showing off brand new aircraft, concept aircraft, and just wheeling and dealing aircraft. It's pretty cool, right? The Paris Air Show, if you ever get a chance to go to it. Also, on tonight, we're going to be flying with Say Intentions, utilising Groupie. This is all powered by Skynet. And I'm just going to connect into this now. This allows us to have voice communication between ourselves, right? But also we can see each other on the map. And I'm going to be using this in conjunction with Parallel 42's Flow Pro. Now, on the main screen here on Groupie, which I highly recommend, this is free, lads, highly recommend you grab it. You'll get the moving map capability, you can drop messages in. The only thing you won't have if you're on a free tier, you won't get the radio communication, right? But if you're a subscriber to Say Intentions, you will. I hear aircraft, and I shouldn't hear aircraft. Jesus, then who's this fella? Nap, he wants a hug. He wants a hug, right? So the route is wrong. LFPB, LFPR. What did I put in? Right now? LFPB. Where does it say LFPR? Did I put in LFPR in the chat? Oh, I did. Oh. Hang on, I need to fix that.
Oh, jeez. How
did I do that? What buttons was I pressing when I did that? Hang on now. We'll do one of these. LFPB it should be. Why did I put in LF... Yeah, don't follow me for a minute. LFPB. That was a typo. It could have happened to anyone. You know, hang on, we'll fix it here now. And then I'm going to, you know... Then I'm just going to edit this bit out of the stream. No one will be the wiser. You'll never know, in fact, this mistake had happened. Yeah, ooh, now it's all saved. Right, so that's grand. Well, welcome in, everyone. Great to see you. Today we're flying the Shuttle Carrier. And, right. Anyway, let's jump in here. Before we go, actually, this is, strictly speaking, a 2020 asset. It's freeware. But I'm hoping it is working in Flight Sim 2024. It should be, right? Can you stick the new flight plan on Discord? Look at this big Aegis. The flight plan is correct. The flight plan is correct. It was just the bot command, homewrecker. All right. So the flight plan is correct. I just made the balls of the of this one here, right? Isn't this an absolutely amazing looking contraption? Isn't it? Right? Absolutely nuts. I'm going to be very interested to see how we get on with stutters and the like. But we seem to have fairly decent model matching. Look at this. Jesus, look at this. Frame rate is very low though, so I'm a little bit worried. But anyway, we'll see what happens. GS... Now, Bridie, I don't know how you managed it, but you managed it. She's in the air. Right, we'll turn off GSX. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Restart or just clear it? Reset position? How do we turn this off? Restart Kootle? There, that seemed to do the job. Right, friends, right. It's now time to jump in and get some power into this machine as we learn all about it. Now, this aircraft, it ain't going to go very fast and it's not going to go very, very high. We have a big, massive shuttle on our back, so we need to be fierce, easy, right? Live time, beautiful with the sunset. Yeah, but then we won't see anything. Do you know what I mean? We won't see a devil thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some power into this machine. So it's based on like the Asobo default 7.4. So we're going to start on the overhead and we're going to go master battery switch to on, standby power coming up, beautiful sounds, and we have external power 1 and 2. Excellent. We shall align our IRSs and we continue on here now with some stuff. Mainly pressing loads of buttons until the lights turn out. That's looking good. We shall put on our nav lights, we'll put on our wing lights and our logo lights. Window heat, not worried about that for the moment. We're going to check our weight and balance with fuel. Let's have a look. Fuel is down at 50%. We're probably a little bit too heavy. We'll go 64% for the crack. Lovely hurdling. And that's loaded in the aircraft. And we're going to go for the APU. Excellent. Bridie lost a ton of weight, bless her. She was taller. Good girl, Bridie. Do you remember Bridie? You do. Right, you're going to press and hold on the APU side. That's going to start firing up. Go ahead and arm the emergency lights. This is all looking good up here. That's all looking good there. And we'll come back down here to our main screens just to get an idea of what we're looking at. Get some lighting on. It's actually a really nice airplane, the 7.4. Very much looking forward though to like a high fidelity variant. We can hear an APU firing up. So that's all wonderful. Now, when it comes to putting or programming in our FMS, this is going to be very basic, right? Because we're going to just do in direct to. So we're going to grab our GPS coordinates. I don't know why I didn't want that. There we go. And our route. So we're going to start off from Echo. Delete. Echo, Jesus Murphy, clear, and clear. Echo Delta Delta Kilo, and we're going to go to Echo. We could probably put in France on this, but we'll put in Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. That's a destination. Now, looking at the conditions here on the ground in Cologne, according to the weather, runway 6 or runway 13 right. We're going to go with runway 6. So runway is going to be 06 and flight number is going to be Firefly 235. And while we're doing that, I just want to make sure I have the correct call sign with say intentions. Just Roy is here. Good to see you, Roy. Roy, thanks for your message. I didn't get around to it today, but I'll hopefully get a look tomorrow. But awesome news, buddy. Okay, so we'll do one of these. One of those, and then we'll tune into our ground frequency. Right, so let me see. It's a direct to, so I'm not overly worried. We can put in SIDS and stars and all that sort of jazz. We could go into SimBrief and build a flight. I'm not overly worried. So let me see. We're going to go to let me see here. Group is going to be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we'll go ahead and tune that in. We're going to activate this for the moment. And now I want to go into my departure and arrival. So let's have a look at a couple of SIDs. What can we do here? So runway 6, we could go on the Novu 1 uniform departure. So it's going to be the Novo 1 uniform departure, right? No transition. We'll execute that. We'll come back to index, and then our arrival. Runways at the moment, 2-1 into Brussels or 2-5. We'll go with 2-5, and we'll look for an arrival. And let me see here now. So EBBR. Oh wait, hang on. Perf. Jesus, I'm going to break the whole ship. We're going to change this guy. EBBR. Because we want to go to Brussels for the first leg. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to add Brussels. There we go. And we're going to go runway into Brussels. So we have 19er or 25 right or 25 left. I reckon 25 left into Brussels. Add to route. We'll go into our arrivals. And based on where we're coming from, we could go with... we'll go with the Batty 7. The Batty 7. Batty 7 Alpha. And our approach is going to be an ILS from Flow. That'll do. So we're going to say it's the Batty 7. Transition. Doesn't like it. ILS. Whiskey. 25 left. Transition. Flow. And execute. Right, let's have a look at the legs page. So we get as far as NVO. Then we have a disco because we need to get to Flow and Batty. So where's Batty? So we're going to delete the disco from NVO. Then a straight to Batty. And then we're in by Flow. Hello. It's kind of a mad looking route, this one, but we'll take our time and figure it all out, right? Next up, we're going to go to route data is fine. No, that's all grand. We're going to go into init. So 0 fuel weight, we can pop in. Didn't like. Why didn't I like that? Come on now, plane, you can do it. Right. Index. 0 fuel weight. Invalid delete. I don't want to delete. Right. Why can't we do 0 fuel weight? Invalid. Cruise altitude. We're going to call this one flight level 160. Not liking this. Actually, we'll go 14,000 feet. Invalid. I've broken a hard to predict runway as weather may change. Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. Can you not include runways in the group flight plans? No. Why would you? Because, well, you could, right? But the chances are, when I do a flight plan, that's on a Monday. You know what I mean? So, like, the weather's going to change. Because even when Naughty does our VATSIM flights, he'll put in stars and whatnot, but, like, you might have to change them come the night. You're like, putting in a runway, it could change, like, so many times during the day, home record. Do you know what I mean? You could be expecting this runway regardless, and then, 5 minutes before the flight, it'll change, Lenny Bobbins, 'tis yourself. Good to see you, missus. And thank you very much indeed for 16 months. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I can't change any of this, so we're not going to worry about it. Right, flaps 5. No. We're in a 747. What do you want? Flaps 10. I don't think any of this stuff works. I'm not overly worried. Oh, it does work. Center of gravity. Okay, so some of the stuff works. I don't know. But we can't go too fast in this. We'll put in 127, 137, and 140. How's that for the crack? It knows some stuff and doesn't know other stuff. 0 fuel weight. 706.1. So it does know what it is. Put in 706. Is it because it's too heavy? Put in 506.1. Takeoff speeds deleted. Well, balls. Right, 14000. Cost index 6. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Right, super duper. Up on top here now, we have the APU running, so let's press some buttons here now, and we're going to get these engines started up. So, APU generators 1 and 2. We're going to go ahead and get our bleeds on. Lovely. And at this stage, we're going to disconnect from our ground. Well, it's already done. Ground power is already disconnected. We're going to make sure our barrow is reset. That's looking good. And we are expecting runway... runway 6. So let's have a look. It's behind us to our left. Right. Perfect. So that's... Jesus, just jets all over the place, lads. This is brilliant. Right. Let us go ahead and start up the engines on this, shall we? Seatbelts. For our, 8 VIPs. Squawk machine 6461. Make you uppy just for the crack. We go ahead and test. Reject to takeoff. Altitude, we're going to call it 14,000 feet. I can probably do that from here. Can I do it from here? No. 14,000 feet. Up the hill there now, Jemima. Come back a bit. Easy. Right, that looks good. Speed, we're not going to be going that fast. You can't exactly go that fast anyway. Do you know? No, I didn't go with live weather. We probably could go with live weather, but no, I didn't go with it because it's not ideal. It's a bit windy. But we might turn it on in a while, right? Okay, weather wants to be on. Terrain, don't worry about that for the moment. And next is going to be an engine start up. So, to do this, let's do our last couple of checks here. Lights are all okay. Switches are all okay here. We do want to put on our engine start switches. We're going to engage number 3. Wipers, lights. Right, that's all okay. Number 3 is coming up. We'll wait till we get to about 20% and then we engage our fuel. We have spinach. Black Knight, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, the thing is she couldn't go very high at all. Fuel in. Murph, is this thing going to be airborne off runway 6? Yeah, maybe. They're lifting the curtain on the A380. Correct and right. Okay, engine 3 is coming up. Engage 4. Is there a connection between this route and the shuttle, McManser? Yes. So this shuttle carrier, along with a space shuttle, actually flew from Cologne to Paris for the Paris Air Show back in the 1980s. It was a world tour. After Paris, they headed down to Campino in Rome, and before they got into Cologne, it actually came in from the UK. They flew it across the Atlantic. How cool is that? Okay. Number 1. It's pretty cool though. Okay, engine 1 spooling. Again, we're going to wait for about 20% and we introduce some fuel. While we're waiting now, we can go flaps 10. Man alive, look at the state of this machine. Okay, engine 1 is coming up. We'll fire 2 as well. I think with the 74-8, she can do, I think, 2 engines or even 3 engines multi-start. It's nuts. Okay, engine 2 coming up. I do wish we had like a high fidelity 7.4. I know PMDG are working on it, but these are a cool airplane. Alrighty, we're looking good. Hey, Britain's here. Good to see you, buddy. 2 weeks, man. 28 months. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. You're very kind. WAI switch off. Ooh. Now, if I was a WAI switch... WAI? To figure out what that is. Oh, was it window heat and anti-ice? Windows anti-ice. Maybe. Maybe. Right, our gens should all be on, which they are. APU generators coming off. APU bleed coming off. Window or windshield heat. Ram air turbine. So we're looking at fuel, window heat, wipers, washers, auto. That looks good to me. Fuel override number 3. Balls, did I go messing with fuel? WAI switch. Does anyone know what that is? No? WAI. Jeez, that's a good one now. Margin, what does the WAI switch mean? It says it's off. I thought that was like wings and anti-ice. I hardly put it to on. Oh wait, maybe that fixed it. It did. Right, okay. There was a middle, it's a rocker switch. Right, all is well in the realm. We shall go for our runway and turn off lights. Beacon lights are already flashing, strobe leave it off, wing lights were already on, logo lights were already on. And now we're going to taxi our way over to runway 6. Oh, look, we got fire jets and everything. This is brilliant. All right, easy now, Jemima. Look at the size of this thing, look. That's savage looking, isn't it? Easy now. Yeah, wing anti-ice, that's what I thought. Murph crashed on landing. No, Murph crashed on takeoff. It was on May the 16th to June 12th in 1983. Enterprise tour of the United States, Canada and Europe. There you go. It's pretty mad, isn't it? Okay, so we want to get down to runway 6, so we're going to have to kind of back taxi here, lads. Now, the cleaner way to do this would be taxi all the way down, but sure, you know, we'll be grand. All the shuttle carriers, this is going to look ridiculous. Highly likely you're thinking of a wet switch, condensate overflow switch. Common industry acronym for wet air interrupter, a simply localized typo for the wet switch. I would try that again, home wrecker, but put it in like WAI Aviation. Do you get me? So my understanding is WAI is wing anti-ice. If it's Boeing terminology. But interesting to know, wet air interrupter. Don't know what that does. Oh yeah, or do WAI 747. It'll probably get you a weird looking 747, to be honest. But it is your verified wing anti-ice. Yeah, but now I want to know what a wet air interrupter is. What is this wet air interrupter? Nanny lights? Strobes? This is the runway we're choosing to take off from, and it's only now that I look at it and Malky kind of said, this looks terribly small. Oh dear. I did that Google, it's so smart. It was at the 83 Fairford Air Tattoo. Yes. Could you imagine seeing this flying in though? Like, isn't it absolutely cool looking? Right. It's not a standard industry term, but almost certainly refers to condensate overflow switch. Pneumatic air switch, there you go. It's still hot as balls and Naples, yeah. Don Waldy, good to see you. Who's that mad ticket? Aka. Now the question is, lads, are we going to get stutters? We seem to be alright so far. Ish. Easy now. Don't you miss the Mach 2 hot air balloons of yesteryear, right? UGB, good to see you. I long for the hot air balloons, Marijan. I long for them. There's Shanks, Fibro. Okay, so model matching appears to be working in terms of military aircraft and the stuff. So this is a good result thus far. Frame rate is heavy though, I'll give it that. And stutters. JPS. So what I've done, I didn't turn off the APU, did I? What I've done is added back all the aircraft, but I've removed their sound AI folder, except for one because I can hear it. I don't know what aircraft it is. Someone's airplane is making a noise. So we'll have to wait and see. Alright, hold position here. We have a caution light. Checklist incomplete. Don't mind that.
Runway 6 remaining. 7,600 feet.
Alright, we got 7,000 feet to blast off on this doohickey right here. So let's see what is going to happen. We're going to climb this thing nice and shallow at about 1,200 feet a minute. Right? We're on runway heading. If all goes wrong, we'll jump back to our runway heading. Right, friends, are we ready? To infinity and beside. Power coming in. Engine stable. Off the brakes. Toga. Easy now. Airspeed alive. Jesus, come on, Betsy. 80 knots. Knots. This is going to look absolutely gorgeous, provided we can take off. Jesus, F-14 hit the deck. Wow, look at that. Up. Get up. Jesus, we only barely made it. Gear up. Jesus, we're nearly going to stall it at 180 knots. Thus is our weight. Easy now. It says tail strike. Absolute fake news. We didn't strike the tail. We merely brushed it.
They've done studies, you know.
Come on, Betsy.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Easy now. Okay, there's a bit of speed coming in. Come on then. 200 knots and stalling? Get out of town. Oh, heck yeah. Easy now. I wonder does the auto throttle not want to work, no? We'll say nothing for a minute. It's going to hold 250 knots. Why it's doing that, I don't know. There you go. It doesn't like the low speed. We'll go 235, right?
Can I get a refund?
No! What sound is causing the issues? Akut, that just doesn't seem right. What are you actually flying in? Because I doubt very much you're in an A340. To be fair, we only struck one of the tails. Yeah. That was tight. That was very tight. Interested with the there goes what was he flying in? It sounded absolutely shagged. He was in a Typhoon? A3, F4. Huh? Right, let's have a look here what we're doing. It's gonna be a left turn. Jesus, there's a lot of traffic around us. There is a lot of traffic around us. Jesus. Alright, roll up the speed a bit. She ain't stable, but look it, we're trying to fly it. We're climbing very gently. Looks nice. It should follow this LNAV profile and we see what happens, right? Mojo, yes we are. So far, so good. Oh, she's doing it. She's absolutely doing it. That is absolutely nuts looking. Right, 5,000 feet, we continue to turn. Right, lads, we're doing a thing. If you're flying along with us, Xbox pilots press 1, same in PlayStation. If you're on the PC, it's number 2. If you're using Skynet, it's number 3. And for everyone else who enjoys Mondays, but not as much as Friday, you press number 4. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. Corsair is showing up as a kind of a mad pink looking devil, but you're looking. Alright, we seem to be doing a thing anyway, and definitely an improvement to the stutters we were getting, although some exist. And I think some of the aircraft... QC Frank, what are you flying in? Are you in a Jag? I mean, so far this is quite positive, considering the mess we had on Friday, you know what I mean? So we'll wait and see what happens. So we're at 9,000 feet. I suppose landing lights at 10,000. And we just kind of set ourselves in now to what's going to be our first flight over to Brussels, right? So we have some notes. So this is part 6 of our series, and we're going to have a look at Skylab and, of course, the Space Shuttle. So this episode, well, it's a major turning point when it came to spaceflight, as you could have imagined, right? Jesus, look at the view. That is a pretty view. We'll go with that view, right? For the first time, space exploration began moving away from short, high-risk moon missions and towards something more ambitious. Long-duration life in orbit, reusable spacecraft, international cooperation, and eventually the construction of permanent space stations. The Space Shuttle era changed what spaceflight looked like. Apollo, of course, had proven humans could reach the moon, and the shuttle attempted to make spaceflight operational. But while the shuttle became one of the most iconic mechanics ever built, or machines ever built, it also revealed just how difficult reusable human spaceflight truly is. This episode, we're going to follow that as we learn about Skylab, Mir, the shuttle itself, and to the international partnerships that ultimately built the International Space Station. So, living in space for months at a time. Space stations. The idea was the focus, as I said, shift away from, you know, these high-risk moon landings, right? So now they're looking at space stations. After Apollo with the moon landing, NASA it faced a major question. What comes next? The Saturn V rocket was the most powerful launch vehicle ever built, but Apollo was ending. Budgets were shrinking and NASA needed a new direction. Rather than abandoning the technology entirely, NASA chose to repurpose Apollo hardware into something new. A permanent orbitable laboratory, and that laboratory became known as Skylab. Skylab 1 launched on the 14th of May 1973, and it was America's first space station and remains one of the most important transitional programs in space history. It weighed roughly 170,000 pounds, close to 77 tons, and was launched into orbit using the final Saturn V rocket ever flown. Unlike modern stations assembled piece by piece in orbit, Skylab launched as a single integrated structure. It was built from a converted Saturn V-S IVB third stage, transformed into a huge living and working area for astronauts. Inside Skylab, well, there was crew sleeping quarters, a wardroom and dining area, exercise equipment, scientific laboratories, solar observations, storage systems, waste management systems, and medical research facilities. Astronauts weren't just visiting space, they were going to be living there. Now, when Skylab first launched, it almost failed immediately. During the launch, about 60 seconds into it, severe aerodynamic forces ripped away one of the solar panels and damaged the protective heat shield. Without the shield, well, the internal temperatures rose dramatically. NASA feared the station might become unusable before the first crew even arrived. The first Skylab astronauts effectively became orbitable repair engineers. Using improvised tools and procedures developed in real time, they deployed a sunshade and freed the jammed solar panel. It was one of NASA's first major demonstrations of in-space repair capability, something that would later become essential during the shuttle missions and also the Hubble servicing flights. So life aboard Skylab. 3 separate crews visited Skylab between 1973 and 1974, and the missions lasted 28 days, the second one 59 days, and the third 84 days. And at the time, they were extraordinary durations. I mean, they kind of had an idea at this stage already, right? How long, 4 days to get to the moon or whatever. They realized maybe 400 days or so to get to Mars. So they were thinking, what's the impact going to be on the human body? What's going to happen to a human in zero gravity for this prolonged amount of time? And there was a lot of questions around this. Astronauts conducted almost 300 scientific experiments, which involved human physiology, bone density loss, muscle degradation, solar astronomy, Earth observation, material science, and fluid behavior in microgravity. Now, NASA learned a ton of information from these missions, data that would last almost 10 years. They're still using this data today to help plan for, long space exploration. Humans could remain productive in orbit for months. Astronauts adapted psychologically and physically far better than what was expected, and the discoveries directly influenced the later space stations, including that of the International Space Station and, of course, the Soviet Mir space stations. Right? So let's have a quick look over to Wikipedia, just to show you. This was Skylab, fully kitted out, ready to rock, and all the jazz, right? Effectively, an overhead view of the Skylab Orbitable Workshop in Earth orbit. Now, what makes Skylab, to me, fascinating is the fact that this was all new, right? They had no idea what was going to happen in terms of how long humans can stay in space, what were the effects going to be. For the first time, it gave them, a working lab, right? A working laboratory in space to focus not only into deep space, because some of the experiments they did on board when it came to like solar flares and radiation emitting, like they learned so many things. But also they had this kind of pack of 6 cameras looking back onto Earth, and each camera had a different filter, infrared and so on, meaning that they were able to do an awful lot of scientific experiments looking at planet Earth. And some of those things covered the likes of, forestation, crop blight, friggin' pollution, right? But also understanding how food sources, they could see, based on weather systems, and then weather was a different kettle of fish, but they could see, where crops could fail if there was that sort of infestation, blight, for example. And they could also see then, if there was heavy flooding. They also learned a lot about fault lines, especially around California and over in New Zealand with earthquakes. Using this Skylab, they were able to have these cameras show them using all these different filters, right? And all the data they were able to send back then to NASA to learn about it. It's absolutely insane, the data that they got. And the application, it went for everything, improving mankind's understanding of, energy, reflective energy, food production. They even managed to follow this line of, is it plankton? I think it's plankton. Do you know the tiny microscopic gadgets that whales eat, or these things eat, and then they become food for whales and other fish, right? They could see all this from space. They could see these lines, right? They could even see how small your hands are. Darn it! But anyway, Skylab was the world's second space station after the Soviets program Salyut 1. Its pressurized volume over 350 meters was not rivaled until the completion of the first modular space station known as Mir. Skylab was the US's first space station, and it was operated by 3 trios of astronaut crews: Skylab 2, Skylab 3, and Skylab 4. Right? This was a huge machine. Huge machine. And to give us an idea of what it looked like, so you had the command and service module, which is similar to what we saw with the Apollo stuff. We had the Apollo telescope mount, right? Jesus, those buttons. Grizzle! Welcome in, Grizzle. Lads, I hope you're keeping well. We're here flying the Shuttle Carrier as we learn more about, space, the final frontier.
Allow myself to...
You're very welcome in, lads. Hope you had a great stream.
Myself.
We're doing this series, from Earth to the Moon, and tonight it's all about Skylab and the Space Shuttle, and in particular then we look at the Space Shuttle Carrier, which is absolutely class. It's a 2020 aircraft, freeware from LordFrites, and it's working-ish in 24, right? It nearly killed me on takeoff. That's always a good sign when we see it. But we're just learning about how all this came to be. Skylab, right? Something on the way. Something. But I hope you had a great stream, buddy, and you're very welcome in, lads. A very happy Monday to you. So you can see where you had all the different rooms, the micro meteoroid shield, sleeping compartments, the wardroom, waste compartment, terribly important, all the experimental zones, solar panels. Like, you're talking 1970s and solar, but like it's right. Solar panels they're big in now, but anyway. Skylab Space Station information reel. It's like a 20-minute video. We'll move on from it. However, von Braun sketch of the space station based on a conversion of a Saturn V. We've already learned about Werner von Braun, right? Incredible stuff. The floor grating of Skylab under construction. So it basically gave the astronauts a major area to be working, right? And to conduct all of these experiments, right? So for example, a little video here.
Aeronautics and Space Report brought to you by NASA.
Go on, NASA.
Some of these parts and pieces coming together at the Kennedy Space Center, Florida, have familiar-sounding names like the Command Module and Apollo Telescope Mount. Others are not as familiar: Multiple Docking Adapter, Airlock Module, Orbital Workshop. From all over the country the pieces came. They are all part of the United States' next manned space mission, Skylab. Skylab, this country's first space station, will be operating in Earth orbit for about 8 months. It will serve as working and living quarters for 3 sets of astronaut crews for flights from 28 to 56 days. These are the 3 men who will open the space station and stay there 28 days. Astronauts Paul Weitz, Dr. Joseph Kerwin, and Charles Pete Conrad. Astronaut Conrad will be in command. Born in Philadelphia, he is 42 years old and a veteran of 3 previous Gemini and Apollo space flights. Conrad described the sequence of events, including a dual launch.
We're going to use both launch pads at Cape Kennedy, pad 39A and pad 39B. And on 39A, we have the orbital workshop on a Saturn V, and it will be launched into orbit unmanned. When it gets into orbit, the ground will be able to deploy the solar panels and the shroud around the front of it, get rid of that, and deploy the solar telescope off to the side and perform a bunch of functions by ground command, which will prepare it for our joining it the next day. Now, we will launch approximately 23.5 hours later after it does, and after 5 revolutions of the Earth, we will have stepped up and rendezvoused with it, and at that time, we're going to dock. And we perform just a few checks on the exterior part of the vehicle and that our docking is a good docking. And we will pretty well have spent the whole day at the task of rendezvousing, so we will go to bed in the command module. And then,
after a good day's work, to go to bed, right? Fascinating stuff. However, as I mentioned, on the first launch, well, it was almost catastrophic, right? They almost lost it. But anyway, they managed to fix it all up. And this will give you an idea of what it was like for the astronauts living up there. They had this big giant wheel in the middle. They were able to run around and act them up with, and they had like a makeshift thread mill, because they realized very quickly, because you're in 0G, muscle density just wasn't needed as much. They were worried about bone density, cardiovascular, all this kind of stuff. So they got into like fairly routine physical training each and every day, and they increased it. I think the third crew, they increased it to like an hour 15, an hour 30. The idea being is, if they didn't do that physical activity, because they're in 0G, your muscles, they're just not doing half the work. So muscle density starts dropping rapidly. So the guys had to stay fit. They had to stay conditioned. So they had to do that by utilizing the likes of, treadmills and physical work and all this kind of stuff. Right? But some of the experiments they did aboard this was absolutely incredible, because the life sciences they're able to figure out, not just on the conditioning of humans in space, but when it came to looking back on Earth itself, and some of the, like a list of some of the experiments here, look. Right? Mineral balance, body fluids, specimen mass, bone mineral measurement, Red Bull cell metabolism, like mad stuff. Then radiation in spacecraft, spear forming. Then you look at, Earth resources, air terrain cameras, infrared, multispectral, microwave radiometer. Loads of different experiments were done. And the data that they got was huge. This was classed as a highly successful mission, do you know? So absolutely great to see. There's Ed Gibson inside it. Look how happy he is, the devil in outer space. And Jack Luzma, isn't this the chap we were talking the other day? Wasn't that the one that Scott mentioned? Or maybe not him, but someone else, like taking a shower in you've seen it all now, right? We think we're fancy with a shower in an A380, do you know? Fascinating stuff. Now, there's loads of documentaries on Skylab itself. And when we talk about computers, most of Skylab was controlled from the ground, which is fascinating when you think about it, because they were able to use robotics and all the jazz for the telescope, the deployment of the solar panels and all that, right? That was all controlled from the ground. Very, very interesting stuff. And then reactivation, they were talking about future plans, concept for shuttle missions, right? But it wasn't just, as I said, it wasn't just looking at Skylab. Skylab was the start of it from the American side. Solar activity stuff, you can see the flares. They were able to see that a solar flare could take as little as 23 hours to hit the Earth, and that's where you get the auroras from and all this sort of stuff, right? So 1979 was the demise. T-shirts and hats with bullseyes, Skylab repellent with a money-back guarantee, wagering on time and place of re-entry. San Francisco Examiner offered a $10,000 prize for the first piece of Skylab delivered to its offices. Right? Stan Thornton found 24 pieces of Skylab at his home. And here's a fragment that was recovered. One of its O2 tanks. So what goes up had to come back down, and it did. It came back down, right? And that was the end of Skylab as we know it. Where are we at the minute? And we're not too far away. So what's interesting here is it was the it was what the Soviets were doing, right? While the US focused heavily on Apollo, the Soviet Union increasingly shifted towards long-duration orbitable stations. The Soviets believed that permanent orbital presence was the future of spaceflight. Beginning with the Salyut station in 1970, or in the 70s, they pioneered endurance missions and long-term habitations. This culminated in Mir. That was the first modular space station. Now, fast forward about 12 years, right? 1986, Mir became the world's first modular space station. Instead of launching as a single structure, Mir was assembled gradually in orbit using separate modules docked together over many years. This approach became the blueprint for the International Space Station. Mir operated all the way up until 2001, and during that time, 105 people from 12 countries visited. Cosmonauts spent over a year continuously in orbit, and the station remained continuously inhabited for 3,644 days. It became a testbed for long-duration life support, psychological endurance, orbitable maintenance, international cooperation, and space station assembly. Conditions, however, on Mir were often difficult. The station aged badly over time. There was equipment failure, fires, air leak, electrical issues, collisions even with cargo aircraft. But Mir taught the engineers and astronauts invaluable lessons about sustaining human life in space for long missions, right? So when we look at Mir, here's Mir, right? Kind of a mad, spiky looking kind of a dude, isn't it? And the layout, again, you can see there's a lot of similarities. You have the solar panels, you have radio antennas and all the jazz, docking modules, right? All the different capsules there. And this is where the pressurized modules were added. February 86, 87, November 89, May 1990, May 95, right? I mean, we look at technology now. Imagine like building components, going to a space station, and the space station being designed 10 years previous. Imagine you're talking like the late 80s to mid 90s. Look at what happened during that time, specifically when it came to computers. I mean, that was Windows 95 coming on the scene. PlayStation came on the scene, for crying out loud. You can just imagine, right, how quickly obsolete that technology must have been, you know? It's absolutely fascinating when you think about it. Fascinating stuff. Power supply from the main 4 solar arrays. What else do we have here now? Reinhold, Ewald, and Vasily. Is it Tibsliev? A great bunch of lads. They used to spend a year up there. The 7 NASA astronauts who carried out long-duration missions at Mir. It's mad, isn't it? Life on board. Time exposure passing over the Earth's surface in 1997. A video tour of Mir.
This is in Crystal. You can see that there's lots of ventilation tubes, there's lots of wires, there's lots of equipment that's stored there, and there's a bungee cord that sort of helps you navigate back and forth. This is Perota, the new module that came while I was there, and it's full of various scientific equipment. As you can see, there's a glove box, and it just worked outstanding. Actually, all the United States equipment that was there in Perota worked really, really well.
That's absolutely mad. Right, we need to immediately land because I'm going to overshoot where we're supposed to land. Don't panic. Autopilot. Power coming back. Spoilers. And put the nose down. Yeah, she's going to scream. Ooh. Right. I know what to do. We'll do a circle to land maneuver trick up our sleeve, right? This is all part of... Oh, Jesus. This is all part of the, the experience of showcasing the Space Shuttle Carrier. You know what I'm saying? It's the warm-up to the air show. Yeah. Near and far, right? Captain Sticky Rice, good to see you. Easy now. Easy now. Now, we'll learn more now in a few moments. But it's fascinating stuff, isn't it? And like, when you see the differences, again, it's like when you look at what the Americans did versus what the Soviets did. Incredible, incredible stuff. Right, we're going very fast, but that's okay for the moment. This is all, terribly realistic. What's the highest auto brake we can use? Max. Yeah, we'll go with that. Turn around. It's some sight, isn't it? Let's see how we get on. Someone's going to turn the runway into a crater. Not at all. We're going to be absolutely grand. Nothing to worry about here at all, lads. What runway did we say? 25 left. That's okay. Imagine seeing this flying over your house, though. Could you imagine? Any sign of bridges? Now, this is never going to be the easiest plane to fly. Because the things were stalling at 280 knots. I mean, would you stop out of that, will you? Don't be silly. Alright. Easy now. Alrighty. I'm gonna try and get ourselves back in on course. Dan, right? Any sign of bridges? Are you mad? You want a bridge? Right, we're heading over that neck of the woods over there, look. All will be well in the realm. Look at the state of this thing. Easy. Bit of trim. Not too much. We're very low. It's all part of the experience for the air show, if they give out to us. Oh no, you got a CGD? No way. Easy now. Watch your speed. We're circling in nicely. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it doesn't like the fact that we might have hit the tail on takeoff. It's totally fine.
Hello there.
Gunslinger, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the follow. You're very welcome aboard. You might witness something absolutely terrifying here. Easy. Yeah, am I right in saying don't touch the reversers, because that's enough to break the thing, isn't it? Man, look at this thing. You'd always try it for science. I mean, in the spirit of science, yes, I agree. Alright, drop it the gear. We're coming in hot. Well, we're coming in lukewarm, but sure, listen. I think that's a runway over here. Easy now. Hey, Mac and Dad, good to see you. Got the Corby trouser press? Brilliant. Right, this looks to be us. Watch your speed. We're very low. We're shocking low. Easy now. A flying brake. No, there's no refunds. So we can't use the rejector. It stalls at 250 and the tail might be damaged. Yes. It's all totally fine. You don't need reversers. You know. 500. Easy.
Approaching runway 25 left. Caution! Caution!
Oh, we're going to use up all the caution. Don't you worry. Right, get on the glide slope. There we go. See, all is well. Tarnish, did you have a bit of an incident? Poor old devil. 500. Flaps are already full.
Yep. We're going the wrong way.
We're not. This is the right airport, isn't it? In the box, man. Good to see you. Oh, Jesus, Andy Murph. Easy. Easy.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Who
Get a
can?
load of this guy.
We have made impact. Spoilers. It won't actually give me reverse thrust. That's okay. Oh, we've made it. Italian Ang fan, good to see you. That was a beautiful landing. What are you talking about? 300 feet a minute. Sure, it's a shuttle. You know, it's grand. Granted, the brakes might be absolutely screaming at us, but that's totally fine. Alright. Right. We have successfully made it to our first stop of the night. This is great news. Easy now. We shall exit and ramble back up. We've got the far side, slightly longer runway. Hey, Rich Gillen, good to see you. You witnessed this 747 with a shuttle 3 times? No way. That's awesome. Easy. Easy. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it? Right. We shall taxi back up the road. Hey, Zard, good to see you. We managed to land without breaking things, you know. Not my finest moment, but we still got down. Could have been way worse, absolutely. That's the way to look at it, Malky. Could have been worse. Right, we're going to taxi up into position. Flaps are coming back in. And that is our first stop for tonight. You're afraid to look at your feet for a minute. Be grand. Don't be worrying at all. So, Mir, right? That was Mir. So the International Space Station combined the lessons from both programs. Skylab, that brought with it the human adaptation, the American orbitable operations, and also scientific laboratories. From Mir, it brought with it the modular construction, long-duration habitation, and international docking operations. The International Space Station became the largest international engineering project in human history. It involved NASA, Roscosmos, the ESA, JAXA, and the CSA, and remains continuously inhabited today. China later entered the station era with its own modular station. The Tiangong represents the continuation of the same philosophy that began with Skylab and Mir. Human beings learning how to live permanently in space. So, Now we move on to the Space Shuttle, the shuttle concept, making spaceflight reusable. Apollo achieved its goal. It was finished. We got humans to land on the moon, but the problem was the cost. Every Saturn V rocket was disposable. Every spacecraft was discarded after use. Each moon mission cost billions. NASA knew this approach could never support frequent spaceflight, so engineers pursued a revolutionary idea: a reusable spacecraft. Now, NASA's original vision, the Space Shuttle, it was envisaged as to be, reusable, frequent, economic, and versatile. NASA believed that the Space Shuttle could fly weekly for dramatically reduced costs, and it would even carry its own satellites, laboratories, and astronauts routinely. The shuttle was marketed almost like an orbitable airliner, a space truck. The goal was to transform spaceflight from experimental exploration into operational transportation. The shuttle was partially reusable. The orbiter returned intact. The solid rocket boosters were recovered from the ocean and then later reused. Only the external tank was actually discarded, and this was a major shift from the Apollo era thinking. The shuttle's huge payload bay enabled entirely new capabilities. It allowed for satellite deployment, satellite repair, military payload launches, space laboratories, space station assemblies, scientific research, and telescope servicing. No previous spacecraft could perform such varied tasks. So, the Space Shuttle, as we're taxiing here, it is an iconic looking vehicle. There's no doubt about it, lads. It is absolutely class looking, isn't it? You know what I mean? So the first SCS, a 4-orbitable test flight, occurred in 1981 out of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. STS, that was the names of them, right? So back in the 30s, American government launched an America Bomber project, and Eugene Sanger's idea, together with a mathematician, Irene Brett, was a winged rocket called Silverbird. During the 50s, the US Air Force proposed using a reusable pilot glider to perform military operations such as reconnaissance, satellite attack, and even air-to-ground weapons deployment. In the late 50s, the Air Force began developing partially reusable X-20 Dinosaur. The Air Force collaborated with NASA on the Dinosaur and began training 6 pilots in June '61. What? Beginning in the early 50s, NASA and the Air Force collaborated on developing lifting bodies to test aircraft that primarily generated lift from a fuselage instead of wings. We were just following the lads on the grass. Yeah, never a good idea. But it's grand. We'll pop it here so we can kind of half see, right? The Space Shuttle Task Group was created in December 1968, and the contracts between General Dynamics, Lockheed, McDonnell Douglas, and North American Rockwell. In July 1969, the Space Shuttle Task Group issued a report that determined the shuttle would support short-duration crewed missions and a space station, as well as capabilities to launch, service, and retrieve satellites. What? We'll go this way now. We're just going to back taxi here up to 25 left as we plan to depart to our next and final waypoint. LFPB. And it's EBBR. EBBR. That's interesting. There we go. EBBR to LFPB, that's where we're going. And this isn't very far, it's about 140 miles. just doesn't get old. It may not be perfect. It might have some issues, but lads, like, isn't it absolutely cool looking? It is cool looking. This is class looking. And like, there are some options built into this. I mean, we can actually launch the shuttle. The shuttle just off it goes. It goes flying itself. It's pretty cool. Right. We're going to fly this one manually for the crack. We're going to go up to 8,000 feet. Great to have it for 24. Like, it's not officially supported, but for the most part it works. Come on now, Betsy. Get us turned around. All right. Easy now. Also, it gives you an idea of just how big the shuttle was. Yeah, like, absolutely massive, right? So we're going to get ourselves taken off, and we're going to head down to our final stop. We'll take our time with this one, though. All right. Okay, heading, we'll call it 24... 245. Right. Was there a pilot in the shuttle? Not during, not when it was carried around like this, no. It was untied, had to sneeze. Right. Power coming in. Off the brakes. Alright, let's see, we go this way. 248 is the runway heading. Watch out. Speed live. 90 knots. Hayden, good to see you, buddy. You saw the Challenger on the back of a 7.4 for real? No way, man. Alright, let's see how we lift off from here. Man alive, look at the view. Yepsy daisy. Come on, Betsy. Jesus, will you get up off the runway? Jesus. Barely. And I mean barely. Easy now. Like, it's the flight model and whatnot needs to be tweaked. Hopefully LordFrites will have a go at it though. Okay. Heading. Vertical speed. That looks a little bit better. .235 is our speed. It should hold that. And we're just going to climb. Sweet. Balbro has the kettle on for us. Heading select. So we'll do a bit of a turn. We'll do a bit of messing here. Let me see. 1-4. Oh, look at that. That's savage. Isn't that savage? So this aircraft that we're modeled on, I think this is the one that's currently sitting at the Space Center in Houston. And they've a mock-up space shuttle sitting on top of it. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. Right, our speed is looking good. We'll jump back into what we were reading here. Columbia under construction, look. Oh, how are you? What'd you get? A bottle of Monster. Very fancy. Very fancy. Where'd you get it? Very good. Look at the state of this, look. Test flying the shuttle. Man, it looks so good. Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. Ooh. That is wild looking, isn't it? So the rudder pedals, yeah. The computers. Man, look at that for a shot. What did you do in work today? Ah, sure, look it. Right, we're doing well. June 74, Rockwell began construction of the first orbiter. They made all the various testing. The crew compartment, that was the computers, engines. The RS-25 engines, Space Shuttle main engines, were mounted on the orbiter's aft fuselage. External tanks, ET. Solid rocket boosters. Retrieval of said boosters, look. Launch preparation, the crawler. This big giant machine, that was called the crawler. That's deadly, isn't it? Early ignition and liftoff. That's absolutely class looking. That's mad, lads, isn't it? Oh, it's the Enterprise you saw. Ooh, nice. Retriever Neil, no way. Yeah, we'll learn a little bit about the Russian one now as well. The external tank separation, look. Endeavour docked then. I mean, look at that. That's docked with the International Space Station. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? Madness. Madness, I say. Absolutely crazy. Right, hang on. Another course coming in. Left turn. As we do a bit of flying around. Yeah, so that was the one that toured for the Paris Air Show. Correct and right. That's mad. So how did it all work? Well, it was a rocket that landed kind of like an airplane. The orbiter was the spacecraft astronauts actually lived and worked inside. It had a flight deck, crew cabin, payload bay, main engines, and the orbital maneuvering system. It kind of looked like an airplane, but it was a spacecraft. The orbiter had no main jet engines for powered atmospheric flight. Once it re-entered Earth's atmosphere, it became a glider. The solid rocket boosters, two of them, provided most of the launch thrust. The external tank, the orange external tank, carried the liquid hydrogen and oxygen. That fed the shuttle's three main engines during ascent. And after the main engine cut off, the tank separated, re-entered the atmosphere, and burned up somewhere over the ocean. It was the only major component not reused. On-orbit operations, the shuttle became remarkably versatile. Its payload could carry satellites, laboratories, International Space Station components, scientific instruments, and the Canadian-built robotic arm, the Canadarm, became one of the shuttle's defining features. Then we had re-entry, the return home. It fired orbital maneuvering engines, it slowed itself slightly, and it dropped into Earth's atmosphere. Re-entry temperatures exceeded 1500 degrees in some areas. Now, when it came to landing facilities, yes, we know we have the shuttle landing facility in Florida, but there are also a number of backup sites throughout the world, one of which is Shannon Airport in County Clare. That was an emergency backup site for a space shuttle landing. And there's a handful of more around Europe, and the world for that matter as well. So, early shuttle missions focus heavily on satellite launches. Commercial satellites, military payloads, scientific observations, that was kind of the mainstay, and it meant NASA then could kind of get paid for some of this stuff, especially when it came to some of the commercial satellites. The Hubble Space Telescope, one of Shuttle's greatest achievements, was servicing the Hubble Space Telescope. After it launched in 1990, Hubble suffered a flaw in its primary mirror. The shuttle enabled astronauts to physically repair the thing whilst in orbit. Subsequent servicing allowed them to upgrade the cameras, the gyroscopes, the electronics, and the scientific instruments themselves. So without the Space Shuttle, Hubble would have failed. Spacelab and scientific research continued and increased when the European Space Agency partnered with NASA to build Spacelab. The laboratory modules fit inside the shuttle payload bay, and astronauts conducted experiments involving human biology, fluid physics, combustion, astronomy, and material science. The Shuttle Mir program in the 1990s, NASA and Russia began cooperating directly. American shuttles docked with Mir repeatedly and helped bring both nations together and help them learn about docking procedures, joint operations, international crew management, course correction, and long-duration mission planning. It very much became the bridge between the Cold War and the ISS era. Then came the International Space Station. The shuttle's most important long-term achievement was building the International Space Station. The shuttle transported the truss structures, the solar arrays, lab modules, crew, supplies, and of course the famous robotic arm and EVA capabilities. For over a decade, shuttle crews essentially constructed an orbiting city in space. Then came the risk, the price of complexity. The shuttle was one of the most complicated machines ever built. It combined rocket technology, orbital space craft systems, aircraft flight characteristics, reusable thermal protection, and human life support. Space Shuttle Challenger in 1986 was lost shortly after launch due to a failure of an O-ring seal in a solid rocket booster joint. Cold temperatures contributed to the failure, and this disaster changed NASA permanently. It forced major redesigns and a reassessment of shuttle risk. It was found, like, when those solid rocket boosters came back down, I don't think it came down to corrosion, but there was a lack of inspection of these O-rings. You just couldn't get in at them. There's lots of documentaries on that as well. It's shocking. It was a huge friggin' tragedy. That was 1986. In 2003, Columbia was lost during re-entry after foam insulation from the external tank struck the wing during ascent. The damage allowed superheated plasma to enter the wing during re-entry. Again, NASA was forced to confront how even seemingly small issues could become catastrophic. Even outside the major incidents and accidents, shuttle operations were extremely demanding. They often came back with tile damage, fuel leaks. They required extensive inspections, long refurbishment periods, and of course we had weather limitations. The shuttle never achieved the rapid, low-cost flight rate originally envisaged. The shuttle did teach NASA reusability is possible, but reusability alone does not guarantee low cost or simplicity. it also transformed NASA's safety culture. The engineers of the O-rings wanted to scrub the launch, I believe. Management overrode them. It was another change at NASA that the people in the know had more power. Yeah, like there's a lot of interesting documentaries and all that. Like it was just like ultimately it comes down to people, control, management, this sort of stuff, deadlines. You know, this needs to be done yesterday and all this sort of crack. Do you know what I mean? If anything, it gives you certain visual cues of when NASA projects in particular are under heavy scrutiny from political reasons. It costs so much money. But yeah. Check the bar, you sent me a picture of the shuttle from Belgium. Ooh. Picture of the Space Shuttle with the ISS viewed from Belgium. Oh wow, look at that, man. They were taken from Belgium? That's amazing, Super Ty. Muse fan says hello to Twitch. I've just responded saying hello, Muse. Hello, Twitch. How are you getting on? Brilliant. Now, it's not all doom and gloom because like every mission, be it Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, you know, we had Skylab, we had the Apollo Soyuz, all of these missions, all the way up to the International Space Station, it learned and thought different culture, different management skills, different operational skills. The global cooperation or international cooperation. The European Space Agency, as we mentioned, deeply involved in shuttle operations through Spacelab. The Canada developed the Canadarm robotic system. The giant arm at the back of the shuttle was one of the most important international contributions to the shuttle program. Then we have the Shuttle Carrier. Because the shuttle couldn't take off under its own power, NASA used modified Boeing 747s called Shuttle Carrier Aircraft. The most famous was NASA 905. The aircraft transported orbiters between Edwards Air Force Base, Kennedy, and even this that we're doing tonight, an international demonstration tour, which brought us over, here to Paris, right? In 1983, NASA 905 carried Space Shuttle Enterprise to the Paris Air Show. It became one of the most iconic aerospace publicity flights ever conducted. It demonstrated the American aerospace capability, international cooperation, and of course the shuttle's global significance. How mad is that? So this very machine that we're flying, this is based on the NASA 905. This is what flew to the Paris Air Show. And we can have a look at some pictures of the real deal right here. Here's a pair of shuttle carriers. The real world stuff, right? There's 905 in an American Airlines livery, right? That's mad. Atlantis on top of it. Humorous note on the mount reminding technicians how to attach the orbiter. Attach orbiter here. Note, black side down. Maybe it's a joke, but I reckon they needed it. Here's Enterprise detaching from 905. I'm pretty sure we can do that here in the sim. 905 is the aircraft that is sat at Houston at the Space Center. Muse fan, of course, Gibbo, we were all there when we went to Flights in Expo in Houston. We were on board that exact aircraft. How deadly is that, Muse? We were there, man. 905 is the aircraft at Houston that we were on. Isn't that mad? Mad, I say. Now, when you look at the layout, the Boeing 747 with the shuttle on top, right? Pretty cool. And if we wanted to launch this behemoth, we need to pitch. Between 5 degrees down and 3 degrees up. Easy. Alright, let's see, can we drop her now? Between 230 and 280. We're getting there. Come on now. I want to see, can we launch the devil? Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Get the speed down. Easy now. We'll manage this, lads. Just want to get that speed down. Above 5,000 feet. Pitch and total airspeed. Easy. 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 Alright, we gotta be close. Pitch. Down a bit, down a bit. There we go. Fire! There she goes. Isn't that deadly, isn't it? Yeah, and that's it. Listen, right? How do I reappear the devil? There we go. Right. Autopilot back on, auto throttle back on, all is well. Brilliant! Isn't that only fantastic? Now, I want to, you might be aware of this, but I want to show you something absolutely deadly, right? Because as the Americans had their stuff, were you aware of what the Soviets had? For instance, here is the Soviet, it's an Antonov AN-225, Mira as we know it, and also the Buran. Isn't it frightening just how close these are to one another? Isn't it frightening, right? Yeah, Hayden, 100%. It was premature. Mr. GPHI, for God's sake. Like, isn't that absolutely spectacular looking? Right? So the AN-225 was actually designed to carry, it was built, Mira, it was built to carry this machine. How nuts is that? This doohickey right here was designed, the weight of this was designed to carry the Soviet shuttle. Right? Which unfortunately this thing was destroyed when all the crack happened over in friggin' Ukraine, right? So if you look at it, here we have, hide me here for a second. Here we have the different rockets. The North American X-15, the Space Shuttle, the Buran. Like, look how close they are, right? It's absolutely mad, Ted. It's mad. Now, where is it? There's something in the bar we need to look at. One of these flew to the Paris Air Show as well, right? All the different Buran family of shuttles. Isn't it just wild? Nutty Taff, good to see you, bud. It's working. It's working. More like similar goals result in similar systems. At their core, Buran and the shuttle were rather different. Yeah, no, they were, but like visually looking at them, visually, you're like, what the? How did, you know? It's crazy. There's a great, and I think that's what that video is. Look at that, look. That's friggin' nuts. What is that? A wooden wind tunnel model. Third of the scale. It's absolutely nuts. And then, of course, the AN-225, which went on to do heavy cargo work. Unfortunately destroyed. Swap21 is here. Thank you very much indeed, Swap. 34 months, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, man. So yeah, the Antonov 225 destroyed back in February. Farnborough in 1990. We've seen this aircraft. I mean, she came to Shannon not all that long ago. I wonder, do they have the pictures of it where she was damaged? Because like, I think they took, like, I'm almost certain, like, yeah, look, Jesus, lads, isn't that just a travesty? Now, there are efforts to rebuild it. I know Microsoft even raised an absolute ton of money for that project. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, just so very sad. Like, what an iconic aircraft. Very sad. But that's what you get. That's the world for you. Now, what's this? Abandoned. Oh, yeah, look at this now. Retriever Neil will have a look. Wished.
Of all the abandoned places in the world,
shut up.
There is the abandoned place.
Shut up.
Place as mysterious and awe-inspiring.
Where's this gone? Hang on, I need to find a video.
These photos of what looks to be an abandoned.
Wished. We'll have a quick look at this video. Shout out to Bright Sun Films for the footage. We'll just have a very quick look, just to show you, because this thing was found abandoned. Abandoned. That's crazy, isn't it?
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
The Ripper, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers from Bavaria. You're very welcome in. Thank you very much indeed for 25 months, dude. What a legend. So there's a video there in the Bremen Bar if you want to go check out this, lads. It's all about the Soviet Buran shuttle, right? But yeah, I think it very much ended up abandoned, like absolutely abandoned. Isn't that mad? There's even graffiti on it. Look, holy crap, look. Old veteran, good to see you, buddy. Isn't that, it's just incredible. Abandonment of spacecraft. Yeah. Good man, PJ. He drip it down. He'll put you in the book. It's not mad the way it's just abandoned though, isn't it? Like absolutely crazy, lads. Crazy. But as I say, like the whole story behind, you know, the space race and everything that we've learned, it's incredible. Epic Fool is here as well. Good to see you, bud. I just reset the weight of the aircraft and it reappeared it. Hey, test pilot is with us. Good to see you. We have a good few folks flying with us tonight, lads. Great to see everyone flying with us. It's not our usual aircraft we go with, but like, it's awesome. And we got ourselves a formation as well. Isn't that cool? There's also a video of an AN225 landing through clouds, literally sucks up the clouds and clears a corridor. No way. That hand waving in vertical view emphasizes how small your hands are. Thank you, Linny. And a hype train was started. You're mad. Old veteran, 5 years! Celebrating my 5-year mod anniversary. Moran had an inglorious demise, as had a lot of their aviation. Scott, 5 years, buddy. Scott's been a mod for 5 years, look. Jesus. Thank you very much indeed, Scott. The man is a legend. Lads, can we get some pints of Guinness emotes into the chat for old veteran 965, who's 5 years as a mod. And sure, we'll do the same for Gibbo, and we'll do the same for Muse Fan. The 3 buckos below have been making sure we're kept safe, informed, and Murphy slagged and checked. You know, and have to put up with my absolute gobshitery every single stream. Every single stream, the lads put up with my gobshitery. So thank you, gentlemens. You're very kind. So many times I was able to issue traffic to aircraft with this, always starting as traffic 1 o'clock. A Kodiak moment. Brilliant. Absolutely incredible. We'll play some tunage for the boys. We'll do one of these. And I'm sure there's buttons over there. Yes, there is somewhere. Yes. 1980s filter. Ooh. Big up then. Isn't that terrible fancy though? Right. We're doing the thing, heading to the place. Right. Now. Where's this now? The QOTS is still and will be the most majestic jet ever built. QOTS. Murph, I posted a link to the 225 video. Oh, good man yourself, Early Dev. Thank you very much indeed. Test pilot. It kind of does, doesn't it? Gets the old chords going. The dogs do that, right? The 225 once blew the fence down at Bryce Norton on takeoff. What? They had to have 24/7 security at the fence until they fixed it. I said the lads love that. Oh, Queen of the Skies. Queen of the Skies. Yes, 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 yes. Very good, very good. I knew that. E-Tip, good to see you, bud. No, it's class, lads. It really is. And like, you know, this series, I mean, I've learned a ton with it, and like so much stuff I didn't know. I love that when you learn new things. Like from the origins of rocketry, you know, Werner von Braun, Second World War, V2 rockets. We learned all about astronaut training, the conditions they had to endure, the secrecy around it. Then we learned about the equipment, the machines, the testing, the engines, the spacecraft. Then we looked at the international effort from communications. We learned all about the telescope at Parkes, even ships going out to sea for NASA to make this global communication system. Then we had a look at mission control in Houston, learning all about Gene Kranz and just what these missions were all about. All of the Apollo missions, from the disastrous start of Apollo 1 and the tragedy, all the way up to landing on the moon, Apollo 11. Apollo 12, of course, which almost had a disaster straight away, but they managed to make it happen. Apollo 13, Houston, we had a problem. And, you know, failure is not an option. Down all the way up to, you know, through Apollo 14 to Apollo 17. Tonight we're learning all about Skylab, space stations, the International Space Station, the Space Shuttle, and of course the Shuttle Carrier Aircraft. And next week is all about the launch. We're going to be flying in Florida. We're taking the TBM 850 for a flight up to the Kennedy Space Center. And we're going to be using an add-on available in the sim, which is the Kennedy Space Center add-on, and we're going to launch some rockets. We're going to fly up there, then we're going to launch a couple of different rockets, get some nice cinematic views and have a look at them, because we're going to learn about Artemis and what's happening today, as you know, we strive once again to land on the moon and return people back. They're talking about building you know, colonies up there, and of course the manned mission to Mars, which we should see sometime in the next 10 to 15 years, maybe. Maybe. Who knows, lads? Who knows? And even today, if you were to look at NASA and then you look at the likes of SpaceX, you look at what Virgin are doing, you're looking, as I said, there's companies in Shannon, and they're working on guidance systems, they're working on drone technology, they're working on, you know, booster technology, and that's just like little old Ireland. There's countries all over the world contributing, you know, to the next space missions, which is it's awesome and cool, isn't it? And I've yet to play Kerbal Space Program. I in my research for Kerbal, right? I was trying to seemingly there's a new game out which is like kind of like Kerbal, but they use cats. Has anyone seen this yet? It's looking very promising. Kitten Space Agency. Yeah, Malky, have you seen it? It looks class. Off-topic stuff. There also seems to be a problem with the sound files that come with a lot of the AI aircraft. Did anyone read something about the conflict? Murph, may that cause the audio hiccup? So, Roy, the audio hiccup has been solved. However, the stuttering that I was getting when aircraft are loading in and out appears to be gone, because I've now loaded back in all my 2020 models, but I've removed the sound AI folders, and I now downloaded everything on my side. I've uninstalled 2020, I've downloaded every aircraft in the sim, and I've removed all of their sound AI folders. I suspect there was a problem from that sound AI folders that developers are supposed to make, by the way, There's something in the SDK that kind of talks about it, and I reckon that's where the issue was. It's as if one of their own guidelines got overridden. And that's why we were getting these very low frame rates. And they only seem to appear in the larger group flights. I need to check in with Tony, Sid Squadron, because Tony gets fairly large flights. Want to see, is he having any issues yet? Like, I don't know how many fly with Tony. I know we get heaps and heaps. Tony seems to get a good few as well. So I need to check in with him, you know. It was mentioned in the AIG Discord. Oh, was it? Okay. Old veteran, that's exactly what I did. I dropped him a DM. Hey, Raoul, what do you know about this? What are you breaking now? Nothing. Right? Would a mod to eliminate all aircraft sounds on multiplayer be easy? You would have to ask Just Roy, because he's a genius. If his bit of software could detect all the sound AI folders and a click of a button, it disables them all, wouldn't that be the cat's pajamas? But you're literally talking every single aircraft has a sound AI folder. And the bad thing about that is, of course, you will only hear your own aircraft. So when I fly past, just mine. You know. So there's that to consider, you know. I'd still be bursting their balls on that we want our own servers. No, I'd be doing that, don't worry, Homewrecker. Popped a pic in YouTube video of the fence Bryce Norton. Look at Jesus, look at that. It knocked the fence, look. Doesn't look like a very strong fence, yeah. No, stupid, stupid, chop, chop, chop. Stupid ads. 3 minutes of aviation. Yeah, look at this now. Whoa. Look at that, man. It actually cuts through the fog. That's crazy looking. Oh, Jesus, we've all been there, lads. Whoop! Yep, we've all been there. Emirates Airbus uses full reverse thrust, creating a huge spray of cloud. See, in iBills pulled the curtain back. They're bringing an A380 into the fray. Jesus, look at that. You ever wanted to disperse water off a road? Put an A380 on it. Pilot makes sure not to wake up his sleeping passengers. Oh, just spread it, man. The butter, on smoothness of the butter. Did you see it? Jesus. Ah, yeah. Set her down now in a moving truck. That's hilarious. Oh, Jesus, you nearly went off. That's the sort of only thing that could happen once. Go on, Aer Lingus. Nearly hit. Ah, this is nothing. This is grand, look. This is normal. Jesus, he said. Jesus. Hilarious. Hilarious. Best mission in FSX. Do you remember that? You're able to do it. The opposite of Murph in Vancouver. Jalagod, yeah. Some of the rainy streams airliners live from Manchester are amazing. Yes. Have you tried the new Gaelic football game? Smiley, I haven't. It looks absolutely catastrophically bad. And they're charging €35 for it. So no, I haven't tried it, bud. It just doesn't, like, it just doesn't look terribly nice graphics wise. But yeah. Right, we need to plan ourselves a landing. And I'm inclined to think is going to be runway 09. Runway 09. Even though they say it's not used. Autopilot coming off. Smiley, are you enjoying it? Well, I'm delighted you're enjoying it. I haven't tried it, buddy, so like, you know, I can't tell you if it's good or bad. It's just, I wasn't drawn to it mainly from the graphics, and then the price was like, yeah. Do you know? But it's great to hear you're enjoying it. Autopilot's off. Auto throttle's off. Oh man, this is beautiful. So the delivery that Corsair is using that doesn't work. What are you in, Corsair? Is that an F-22? It looks like an F-22. Right. Lights are already on. On Murph.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Who pressed that button? Aviator 1979. Thank you very much indeed. Brilliant. Easy now. Do you know, we're a little bit ahead of schedule here, but we're all right.
Can I get a refund?
No, you can't get a refund. A tip man prefers hurling. There goes the ups and down, Mr. TPHI. And look, we have you in an F-14. Brilliant. Yes. We have fixed the thing, Mr. TPHI. We have fixed it. Gary, thank you very much indeed. It's available over on flightsim.to. It's strictly a 2020 aircraft, but it kind of works. It's pretty cool looking, isn't it? It's terribly nice. Of course, she's in the Playboy Bunny livery, right? 3 out of 3 on landings tonight. Home wrecker. Good man yourself. But Janie, then, is that Paris? It is. Jesus, Paris is big, isn't it? Quokka's here, good day. G Slayer, good day. Hope you're well, lads. Cheers, Muse, for the link. There's a link there now, Gary, if you want to check it out. We're going a bit fast, but sure, listen. I'm making a terrible mess of this approach. I wonder, should I go with the other runway? I will, lads. We're going to go with runway... What number are you? 03. Yeah. Runway 3, lads, right? We have to do a fly over Paris. What is this in the air? I will say this only once. A Space Shuttle. Yeah, a Space Shuttle. That's what this is.
Good morning.
Right. Saw a meme today that made me think of you. Uh-oh. Days we haven't flown into Paris since we've done our Napoleon stuff. Easy now. Let's see what happens. We've some photogrammetry, but I'm not quite sure, do we? How we do? Right, we're looking good. Man, it's such a cool looking machine, isn't it? And to think we actually were in this in Houston. Keep it rolling. So we're going to be flying the 777 tomorrow night with St. Engines, providing ATC. Manchester to Shannon. That should be a bit of crack. Haven't flown the 777 in ages. Keep her coming. You activate to infinity and beyond.
9. Caution, caution.
We'll use all the caution, Gertrude. Jefferson, good to see you, buddy. Now, you can push it in, you can tow it in.
That's right, friends. Look at this car right
here. Good to see you, buddy. That's right, friends. Did you ever see that 1980s car salesman? Brilliant. Over the city we go. Easy. Jesus, the view. I imagine we're too fast for the old gear. Formation flight coming in. Where would you get it? Here's the landing gear. All right. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was brilliant. Still, I think the monkey alarm was the best of them. The monkey alarm? Jesus, look at this. Where is the Eiffel Tower? Easy now. Don't make a balls of it, Murphy. Easy. 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 Man, look at that city. Beautiful. It was, absolutely. Gial is here, good to see you, buddy. I wonder if Simmers are aware of the contribution Endeavour made to our hobby. Not quite sure. Care to share? Alright, easy now. Ooh, some stutters. SRTM top of data from STS 99. Ah. Just right, is that the one? Alright, bring the speed back. Easy now. Flaps 30.
Approaching runway 3. Caution, caution.
Easy now. For the best car alarm would also be a great mod for getting rid of Aegis. Oh, really? Brilliant. We're coming in a little bit hot here, but sure, listen. It's for the air show. Easy. Don't hit the building. Easy. Oh, Jesus.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, Jemima, we burst it. Say nothing. Oh, mother. Oh, no, we're gone sideways. This is the arrival for, you know. Well, it's part of the air show trick. Oh, Jesus. It's part of the air. Reverses don't work on this. What to do? Oh, hang on. Reversers? The reverses do work. Okay. Does it seem to be delayed? Yours has the same problem? There's issues with the aircraft in 2024. Like, it's not terrible. Like, it's far from terrible. But there's definitely some issues with it. The flight model speed just drifts. Like, 250 knots and she's stalling doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Hopefully it gets an update. I mean, it's a fun add-on. It's cool looking. Collapsed landing gear. No, listen, man, this plane was built from NASA. What we did was part of a certified test flight. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You know, how stiff a landing we can do with the shuttle carrier or with the shuttle on top of us. Totally fine. Stay with her. It's absolutely cool looking. Yep. Look at that, look. Isn't it absolutely cool looking? The thing is friggin' gorgeous. Stunning. It still looks gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning looking. Even when you go on the grass. I mean, look at it, lads. Isn't it something else? Man, it's cool looking. Oh dear, oh dear. What's... is that Rex? How did I know that was Rex? Oh Jesus. Ooh! Running things! Nothing to see here, lads. Nothing to see here. So some of these aircraft have purple textures. We've no idea why. It's just one of those things. One of those things. What can we do? You can fly Manchester to Bristol with your eyes closed. We're doing Manchester to Shannon tomorrow night, Stu. If you're interested. This is a big old airport, isn't it? Easy now. Has anyone flown the shuttle carrier on VATSIM? There'd be an interesting one. I imagine it'll get the same icon. Wouldn't it be cool if it got like the Space Shuttle icon? Are we gonna fit here? Just. I mean, just about. How sick of the sim you'll be? Brilliant. There's a wild Mrs. GPHI. Hello there. I think we can abandon ship. Park and brake on. We've no external power. Brilliant. I do need to fly the Beluga on network. Look at the size comparison. Yeah, she's small anyway, but like, do you know? Lads, that was a very interesting flight for sure. Like, it's not every day we fly something like this. And as I said, it's very befitting of the series that we're doing. I'm fascinated by it though. I mean, there you have it. The shuttle carrier. A 747 with a space shuttle on the top. Absolutely nuts, isn't it? So the F-22 has given me jib with the liveries, so I'll need to go off and fix that. But at least we know model matching is working well. Right? That's good news. So more on that front as we continue. But yeah, guys, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome stuff. I want to thank you so very much indeed for tuning in. We're back tomorrow night with more flyage, taking a 777 out of Manchester over to Shannon. Toto's in the Jag. Toto's in the Jag. Where's Toto? Okay, so it's not fully working because I have the Jag. And it's loading you as an FSLTL model. Even though you're in the Jag. And I wouldn't mind, but I know the Jag is working because we saw Frank in the Jag. So yeah, not all is well in the realm of model matching. But it's getting there, right? It is getting there. The F-22 looks shagged, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those liveries, right? F-14s are working fine, both of them. Elric appears to be in a Tomahawk, which I suspect is not correct, right? So yeah, more testing for sure. But guys, I want to thank you so very much indeed. We're a little bit early finishing tonight, but that concludes part 6 from Earth to the Moon. And as I say, we're back to you tomorrow night. We have our 777 flight. Wednesday night we bring you this week's Flight Sim News. Thursday daytime we're going to be flying in the Starship. Thursday night we have a VATSIM flight. And then, friends, on Friday night, we do our D-Day commemorative flight. We're going to be flying in the C-47 and we're going to fly it into Normandy, just as they did 82 years ago. So that's coming up on Friday night. Group flight once again. And yeah, looking forward to that one. Immensely looking forward to that one because I do like that DC-3. So massive thanks for all your support, for tuning in, just hanging out. Massive thanks to all the raids that we got as well. And if you're new here, you are most welcome. Most welcome. So, yeah. FS Boy, cheer. Yeah, I have it on full whack, man. We're getting there though. We're fixing things. Right, lads. You'll catch us over in Discord until we're back live tomorrow night. So until then, have a lovely evening. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Over there. Oh, sweet something there. Ah, Jesus. Medic. Oh. There's nothing to
Look at
see.
this big Egypt.
Jesus.
There's nothing to see. No. There's nothing to see at all.
Where you can enjoy complimentary deluxe continental breakfast daily with afternoon hors d'oeuvres and a fully stocked honor bar. Get up there. Complimentary hot and cold beverages throughout the day. Fairmount Gold combines personalised
I'm sorry, did you just say hors d'oeuvres?
hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. Oh no, I made a terrible mistake. Jerry Coogan, many thanks for the follow. Hang on, we need to get out of beta. No, that's backwards, Murph. Uh-oh. Get out of... Oh, we nearly tipped it over, lads. You see it? Jesus. Why won't you get out of beta, you devil? Your controls are no longer agreeing with me. Right, what's it doing now? Not as beta. Stupid thing. Stop reversing. Ah, you need to go forwards. Holy crap. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. We're going in, that's it. There's no turning back at this stage. Jesus, mind the bears.
Look at this big Egypt.
Oh no, we're at the dying. Quick, get out. Oh no, we're Jesus. Oh.